Hey guys, I have a family devotional for you guys to participate in today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So first of all, I invite you to grab a Bible and open it up to Psalm 146. And before you go any further, I invite you to read that psalm together as a family. And after you read it, just go ahead and pause me. Read it together as a family, and then after you read it, come back and we'll talk about it a little bit. So, have you or anyone in your life ever made a promise? We've all made promises before, and sometimes we're able to follow through with promises, which is really great because that's our intention when we make a promise. And sometimes when we or other people make promises, we're not able to follow through with them. And that's what happens. Sometimes the promises get broken. But when we read Psalm 146, we're reminded that sometimes while people can promise things, that includes us, and we can't follow through with them, we are reminded that God is faithful at all times, and He follows through with all His promises. And that God has always and will always be with His people through all generations, from the very beginning and always. God remembers what He promised to Noah and Abraham, to Moses and Joshua, to Deborah and Ruth, to Paul and Lazarus, and God remembers what He has promised to us. And so while right now we might feel that things feel a little uncertain, and we might have some big feelings around that. You might feel anxious some days, or sad someday, or even bored some days. God can handle each one of those emotions, and yet His promises still remain the same. And so one thing I invite your family to do is to go around and name some of the emotions that you guys are all feeling, and pray about those, because God can handle each and every emotion that we have. And then after you name those emotions, I want you to name some of the promises that you can think of that God has promised to us. The psalmist says in Psalm 146, "The Lord reigns forever, your God, O Zion, for all generations." So God is saying that no matter what we feel, whether times feel certain or uncertain, which means, our routine is out of whack and we're not doing the things that we usually do, so we may feel a little uneasy. What the psalmist is saying is that God is still the same person. And just like how He was with Adam and Eve and Noah and Deborah and Lazarus and all the people that we talked about on Children's Day, He is with us too. And so we can be thankful for that promise, because God is faithful. He is with His people, which is us, and He has not forgotten us. So I have some reflection questions for you and your family to talk about together. So here is the first one. Talk about and think about how we all break promises, and why have we broken promises? Think about the things that God has promised us. So name some of those promises from God. And then I want you to pray, thanking God for always being faithful when times feel certain and when times feel uncertain. And ask for help and remembering God's promises. Friends, I really miss you guys, and I cannot wait to be together again. But know that I am praying for you all each and every day. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Love you guys very much.